Oh, goodness no, Jeremy, Santa smiled. However, there is something that you need to understand. These gifts I've given to you are not a reward. You have been a very good young man. I know, said Jeremy. All the pride he felt earlier in the evening vanishing in an instant. In its place was a heavy heart tugged at his chest. Oh, come on now, son. I didn't sit you down here to burden you. Santa, why did you bring me a present? Oh, the question that I hoped you would ask. Let me tell you a story to help answer your questions. Wait till you girls hear this. Long ago, I was a young man. A young man who thought that my parents were always wrong and that the world revolved around me. One particular day, I found myself standing in a crowd, attracted to it because of the shouting and the yelling, and I was sure a fight was going on and wanted to get a look. So when I finally made my way to the front of the crowd, I couldn't believe my eyes. A man carrying a cross was coming towards me from down the street. My initial thought was that this man was a thief or a criminal, and I started to shout at him myself, but then he got close enough for me to recognize him, and the man was Jesus. Jesus? Said Jeremy. You saw Jesus? Yes, I did, nodded Santa. Gosh, Jeremy sat back, exhausted and eagerly waiting to hear more. Did you know him? Oh, a little, said Santa. I didn't know him as well as I knew of him. About 2 weeks before this day, I had met Jesus. I was walking down the road during a really bad day when suddenly I noticed someone beside me. And I looked over and I saw that it was Jesus. Now, Jesus was famous. He was the miracle worker that everyone was talking about. And me, I was nobody special. But you're Santa. Yes, I am now, but back then I was nobody special. At least that is what I thought. So I was quite taken by his surprise. Kind of like me when I saw you, said Jeremy. Very much like you. So there's Jeremy meeting Jesus.
Wait, I thought that was Santa.
Hmm?
Yeah, Santa.
Santa, I'm sorry, Santa, I'm sorry, you're right, sorry. Jesus spoke my name, said Santa. Jesus knew who I was, and he told me that he had been looking for me because of my morning prayer. He said he had come to take away my burdens and asked me if I would give them to him, but I didn't know how. Jesus had smiled and said that I simply needed to tell him what they were and agree to let him have them. What did you do? Well, I did just that. I told Jesus everything and asked him if I would ever be forgiven. Well, what happened next? Said Jeremy. Jesus hugged me and whispered, "You are forgiven." The weight in my chest disappeared in an instant, and I fell to the ground in relief. When I woke up, Jesus was gone. What did Jesus do with your burdens? Jeremy wanted to know. Well, Jeremy, when Jesus walked by me on that street carrying that cross, I saw them. My burdens were nailed to the cross, but mine weren't the only ones there. I saw yours. Mine? Yes, I saw yours, mine. I saw everybody's burden on that cross. Well, how could Jesus carry all of those burdens? And why did he do it, Santa? Why? Because, Jeremy, God had sent Jesus on earth to take away the sin of the world. to take our burdens from us so that he would be punished and not us. Jesus was punished? Yes, Jeremy, Jesus was hung to die on that cross that he carried. But Santa, why? Why would God send Jesus to do that? Because he loves us. He didn't want us to suffer. So he sent Jesus to go in our place. Oh gosh, Santa, Jesus died for us? Yes. And then Santa paused. But for only 3 days. For only 3 days? How can that be? Oh, the story for another time. But I've kept you up late enough. So it's time to go. But Santa, how does this story answer my question? I still don't understand why you brought me presents. Well, son, I didn't deserve to have Jesus take those burdens from me, and I knew it. But I was so grateful that he had. I promised on that day that I would do everything I could to remind people what a wonderful gift Jesus Christ was to us. So, since Christmas is Jesus' birthday, I travel to homes giving gifts, birthday gifts, even little boys and girls who might not think they deserve them. Jeremy was silent. He was digesting everything he had just heard, and Santa just scooped him up and carried him upstairs and tucked him in bed. Santa, are you an angel? Jeremy asked. Of a sort, I suppose. I like to refer myself as God's servant. Santa, Jeremy said. Yes, Jeremy. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome, son. Don't forget to thank Jesus. How, Santa? Just fold your hands and pray. He'll always be with you. He'll always hear you. God bless you, son. Jeremy woke up the next morning to sequels of delight ringing from the little sister. She ran downstairs. He ran downstairs where he saw stockings full of presents under the tree. But what caught his attention? What do you think caught his attention? Guess what? The baby in the manger. That's what he thought about. And he stopped and looked at it, and he said he saw that before, like in the stable, was a figure of a baby who had grown up to die for him. And that baby was Jesus. The end. That's not the end, the beginning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Did you ever